And when you work with pizza dough, you want to make sure that you're using a flour that has a fairly high protein content, because you need something that has a lot of gluten in it. And when you mix flour and water together, you create gluten, and you need that gluten to stretch the dough. So, with a pile of flour on your board, and for a pizza like this, you need about 4.5 to 5 cups of flour. You make the fontana, so called because it resembles a fountain. Then, I want some water and some yeast. So about 1 3/4 cups of water goes into the center of the wall of flour. Put in about 1 tablespoon of dried yeast and a pinch of olive oil. Just like that. It gives a little flavor. It also gives a little bit of moisture. And now a pinch of salt. And then what you do is say 3 Hail Marys and start dissolving first the yeast and the water together, and then bringing in the flour from the inside of the wall. And the first time you do this, I know exactly what's going to happen. Your wall is going to split on you, and all of this is going to go on your shoes. But it's quite all right, because it does take a little practice to learn this technique. And as you bring the flour in, of course, this will get thicker and thicker, and then you'll have more control over it staying in the center of the well instead of going all over your shoes. So now you see we're starting to get a ball of dough. I may not use all of that flour. In fact, I know I'm not going to use it all. I just want enough to give me a dough that I can move on the board. So when I have it into a shaggy mass, I take a dough scraper and I start moving that dough around, helping me get it into a ball. So this is going to take, about 5 or 6 minutes to do. And if you see that there's too much dough sticking to your hands, just take a little flour and keep going. Put it on your hands and keep going. All right, now I'm going to move all this out of the way. And all this flour that I do not use can all be re-sifted and then used again when you make the next batch of dough. So now, scrape up all the bits that are on the board so you can be able, the dough has something to grab onto. And now, this is the part where you really want to fashion that dough into a nice ball. And my hands are still sticky, so I know that I still do not have enough flour worked into this. Now I'm going to let this rest just for a few minutes, because as the dough rests, of course, the flour absorbs the excess water. And if I let that sit there for about 5 or 10 minutes, when I came back to use it again, to roll it again, it would be a whole lot easier for me to roll out. So if it's your first try, allow the dough to rest on the board and then go back and reshape it. So now with clean hands, I have a little bit more control. And we want to keep doing this, moving the dough on the floured board until we have something that's soft but not sticking to our hands. Then, that's going to take about 5 minutes to do. In a large bowl, put some olive oil. Grease the bowl well. Then take that ball of dough, put it in there, and turn it in the oil. That's going to help keep that dough nice and moist. Then, put a piece of plastic wrap over the top and put this dough somewhere where it's going to rise in a warm place, preferably around 75 degrees. And here's a dough that I did earlier, all ready to go. You want it to double in size. So you want to punch it down and get out all that excess air. I got your email about, this being the family recipe. So
yeah,
I tried to, get all the things. It sounded a lot like mine, you know what I mean?
Well,
You're always copying me. Okay, so what do you
Everything I learned, Marianne, I learned from you.
Here.
I got the
You need a little farina?
A little farina.
A little
yeah.
farina
We're going
qua?
to on the top of that.
On the
and
top.
we got, yeah. And then
Okay.
we'll get that going.
I don't know. Does this have to be real thin or what?
No, not really. We're going to just,
Yeah.
do this
Did I do-
arrugada, a little bit of
Arrugada.
arrugada. We're going to do, now we're going to get the pan, Marianne. We're going to put
Oh,
that
boy,
on
you
the pan.
didn't work
right
very
there.
hard at all.
No, now I'm going to
All
let
right.
this go.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. We're going to let it proof a little bit.
Okay.
I get this stretched out here. This will have like a New York handle to it, Marianne.
A New York handle?
You
What's
know,
a New York handle?
Nice thick crust.
You need a little olive oil?
No.
Oh.
In fact, we're all
Excuse
set
me,
right
Miss
now.
Scusi.
In fact, it's in the.
What?
We put it in the dough.
All right, it's in the dough.
It's
You're
in the dough.
always copying me. All right, here's your stuff. What do you need here?
Yeah, let's
You
see.
want a
I think we're gonna put some anchovies.
Well, here they are. Did I get
yeah,
good ones?
yeah. You got some nice ones.
I tried to get them at your store, but
They
you know,
never
you were
open.
cold.
Sorry, we're
They going
open.
on like this?
Yeah, we could break them up a little more.
Okay, yeah. All right, so this is going to be
Marianne,
pretty
boy.
salty.
No, well, we're
No?
not gonna add any salt.
All right, so the anchovies
In
with
fact-
the oil?
Anchovies with the oil.
Yeah, and
in
I
fact,
really-
I'd put the oil from the anchovy in there on the top of that too,
I'm going to
because
do
that's
that,
got a lot
Amelia.
of flavor.
You're supposed to be making this, and I'm winding up doing all the
I'm
work.
learning everything.
All right, so
Marianne.
there's the anchovies. Now what?
Now we'll go with a little bit of oregano.
Go with a little bit of oregano.
Olive,
All right.
anchovy. Can you just visualize that taste?
No, I I think I get the picture.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this for?
That's a nice prop.
Oh
Look at
yeah,
that. That's a
okay.
nice
This is what I do
Yeah.
with this.
Oh my gosh, put that on top
See,
too,
look,
Marianne.
that's
yeah.
the easy way to get
Look
the
at
pits
that.
out. All right. Nothing is in my kitchen is a prop. It's all usable,
All
Amelia.
right.
Remember that.
And now the cheese, Marianne.
All right. This is
We got some mozzarella, nice
Mozzarella.
shredded mozzarella,
All
and then
right,
we've got
yeah.
some grated Romano.
no. Oh yeah, I got some
Yeah.
Romano.
Yeah, we'll shred
here.
a little bit on top.
You want to shred? Okay. Well, you know what? My shredder's in the dishwasher.
Okay, well-
Let me get a knife and just cut.
Oh
you
yeah, just some nice
Yeah.
shards off of
I
that.
just cut you some up there. Yeah. How's this? Is that good?
Just like a machine.
You have to improv when you're in the kitchen. Yeah.
Marianne.
Okay. Good. Now does it get olive
I'm
oil?
gonna have to give you a job, Marianne. And we'll
Okay.
put the
What else?
The olive oil,
A little olive oil.
Yeah,
Qua.
yeah,
Qua. Okay.
a little
Sopra.
drizzle,
Sopra
a little
tutto.
drizzle. We got to give it that moisture so that it doesn't burn in the oven.
Now, what temperature is this cooking at?
I'd say about 400.
400,
for a
Amelia.
while and watch it, then turn it around.
Okay. So,
I think-
so now we got to let it rise.
Let it rise just a little bit, and then, or we could even put it in the oven now.
You could?
Sure,
Yeah,
because it'll rise in the oven.